again, Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be our map, and we are going to see Final Boss with the first pick and first ban. High prioritization of specialist heroes here on Tomb. Always nice to be able to pick up those early web weavers with being able to push those lanes in, get solid wave clear, maybe soften up those walls a little bit for when those first web weavers do come out if you're able to secure that first turn in. Zagara always highly contested here for all of the vision you can get on these turn-ins with her creep tumors. We see a lot of Zol and a lot of Sylvanas. Zol to be able to really aid in those top to mid rotations, to be able to push those skeletal defenders out as far as possible, getting some extra siege damage, and just in general making it hard for the opponent to counter wave clear. And also we see a lot of we also tend to see a lot of Sylvanas just because of how she complements the web weavers, the objective here. Seeing a lot of time for that first ban from FSU Crab Legs here, dipping into their time pool a little bit. Finally, they will ban out Zol, which is a pretty common ban. He's very powerful on this map. And we'll see the first pick from Final Boss here. We'll have to see who they decide to pick. Li Ming on the board, but they are going to elect to get Sylvanas. I love that first pick. Counter pick Greymane and Li Ming, the two biggest reset heroes in the game. They are going to be gunning for the squishies on the side of Final Boss. We'll have to see if that works out for him here, as we see very aggressive first picks there, but we don't see a specialist coming out. So at this point, we could see Final Boss actually pick up Zagara, or they'll have the opportunity to ban it here, which really could deny FSU Crab Legs the ability to get a big siege specialist here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which we've seen is such a big influence on these maps. We'll have to see if that works out for him and what Final Boss wants to get here. I wouldn't blame them for picking up the Zagara, but just in general, they have an opportunity for a couple good solid picks here to see what they want to get out, and just in general to get out of this the beginning of this draft. They've got, of course, the opportunity to pick two strong heroes here and deny what FSU Crab Legs might want to get later in the draft, combined with the ban that they'll have coming up. So we are going to see them pick up Rhaegar, which could set them up for an opportunity to go for a healer chokehold. We'll have to see if maybe they want to pick up a tank here as well, maybe not revealing too much of what they want to do for their strat. And I think I might hear a guest coming in.
Yes. Having internet issues right now, but I think I'm starting to iron it out. Give me a second to get myself in game.
Hey, you got it. Meanwhile, we are going to see this draft continue here as Rhaegar is picked up, a very strong healer. He's definitely the healer with one of the highest win percentages in the game. We see him picked up at the top of the game a lot, and we also are going to see a Nubarak come in. A very good counter pick to Li Ming with those scarabs, able to get in the way of those skill shots, the missiles and the orbs from Li Ming. So a very good counter mage pick, and just in general, he's been being played a lot. We are going to see the Illidan ban coming out from FSU Crab Legs. Anubarak, always a really good diving partner to Illidan, and has good synergy with Rhaegar. So a pretty smart ban, a good counter pick to Li Ming, always being able to chase her down. So I really like the Illidan ban, but we'll have to see where Final Boss wants to decide to try and put down their chokehold here going in before these two picks for FSU Crab Legs.
I got the link, sir, and then I will join you.
Yeah, let me grab that for you real quick here. There it is. And we are going to see the Tassadar ban, a very, very smart ban here. Tassadar great at both granting a little bit of vision out for these turn-ins. Good turn-in denial, being able to do that from range. Also good for dual healing comps, which we haven't really seen exactly what FSU Crab Legs wants to come out with yet. And I'm a little surprised to see them not try to deny Zagara. I don't know if that's what FSU Crab Legs is going to go for here, but with the Zol ban and the Sylvanas pickup, I felt like they had an opportunity to really deny the next best specialist in the game here. We'll have to see if FSU Crab Legs wants to pick that up here, Blake.
Right. After the match that we just had on the same map, with Zagara played a very important role. and the vision and how her team rotated, would not be surprised if someone is going to pick her up at some point here.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be FSU Crablegs. As we see them come out with Taronda and Brightwing. With the comp they have so far, they're going to need a frontliner. They're going to need a tank. So Zagara is probably not going to end up being that pick. The Tassadar ban actually working out pretty well here, as you might have wanted to see Tassadar instead of Taronda or Brightwing.
Right here, and now you have the Brightwing there. The global presence is really, really nice. Polymorph is really, really good. We have yet to see who Brightwing will target with that polymorph. Sylvanas, I guess. Nubarak can be annoying. I would have liked to have seen maybe somebody else. And I guess Lunara pick up there for my final boss is a good polymorph for that Brightwing. But you're right. I think a Zagara somewhere around or down here would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, and an interesting pickup there, Lunara. Into the Greymane and Li Ming on the other side. That could end up being a little bit scary for Lunara here. As far as auto attack heroes, Vala or maybe Raynor, a little bit more self-sustain or a little bit better escapes. A little worried about Lunara against this comp.
Right, Lunara is one of the best auto attackers in the game. Her poison is absolutely devastating. They do have a bunch of FSU has a bunch of squishies with Brightwing, Taronda, and Li Ming, and arguably even Greymane that Lunara can really easily chunk down. And we do see Final Boss coming down with a Jaina to wrap up their team.
Yeah, a pretty tremendous amount of wave clear here coming out of Final Boss. They're definitely going to have the advantages in lane. But we'll have to see if this Greymane Li Ming reset combo is going to be able to get into get in past Anubarak and get to those squishies, whether it's Rhaegar, Sylve, Lunara, or Jaina. If Greymane's able to dive in there, especially now with Muradin and the stun comp coming out from Muradin and Taronda together, those team fights could turn very ugly very quickly.
Right, and the synergy that works between the Muradin and the Greymane is going to be absolute key in this particular matchup. With that Lunara waiting in the whims and hiding in the bush, and that Nubarak coming to dive, timely stuns with a timely pounce from Greymane is what's needed in order to be able to safely dictate this map. But if that synergy is not going to be there, a Final Boss has everything in their team to really steamroll this match.
Yeah, and I do see a lot of what's going on here, I think, with this combo. They're looking to get a lot of siege damage out. They could end up getting a lot of advantage if they're pushing with their web weavers, being able to dive in with a Nubarak, being able to disrupt the back line, maybe be able to pick off Greymane before he gets too much work in there, particularly with the Jaina. She can turn around, and she's got undoubtedly the best burst damage when she's got all of her cooldowns up, to be able to just burst down Greymane if he dives in. But it's a matter of who strikes first. That's who's going to end up winning this game.
Right. Absolutely. We'll see how they're going to rotate this. Jaina, right now is slowly coming back to the top in terms of competitive play since her rework and her escape was essentially deleted from her kit. She has a lot of burst damage. She's very squishy. Doesn't have a whole lot of an escape. She's going to require Rhaegar and Nubarak to help shield her a little bit as she's trying to go in to secure some of this burst damage.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if the lockdown is going to come in from Muradin and Taronda. I'm really worried for the squishies on the side of Final Boss. That's where I think a lot of this is going to come down between Muradin, Taronda stun, and then Polymorph from Brightwing. They have a lot of CC on the side of FSU Crablegs to be able to proc those resets for Greymane and Li Ming. So if they're able to get that one kill, which I think that CC comp should enable them to do, again, they can start rolling those resets between Greymane and Li Ming and really start diving in and getting kills. And I don't know about the escape potential. We'll have to see if they're able to get the escape potential going here on the side of Final Boss to maybe peel a little bit for a Nubarak. But otherwise, we'll just have to see how this goes. I think that Final Boss is set up to have a good time on this map. They have the map objectives figured out. But FSU Crablegs has really picked a great team fighting comp.
They absolutely have. We're going to see how they're going to dictate here. Who do you think has the strongest number of level 1 to set up a gank here as we open up this match?
Definitely FSU Crablegs with that CC comp that they got rolling there, they're going to be able to have the definite advantage in terms of being able to lock somebody down, whoever wanders into that bush, even if it's an Uberak, being able to lock him down and take him out very quickly between Hunter's Mark from Tyrande, the CCs, the stuns, and the burst damage from Greymane and Li Ming, arguably two of the best burst damage dealers in the game.
They are. And here we are going with our teams spawning in. In the blue trunks, we're going to have Carnival and Rhaegar, and Zeph on Jaina, and Rollet on Nubarak, Puzzle on Lunara, and any mini Calg on Sylvanas. My word.
Well done. In the red trunks, we're going to have FSU Crab Legs with Tall and Nasty, a very appropriate name for Brightwing.
Yes.
Sham Lance on Greymane. Deathclaw is going to be playing Tyrande. Shalambu is going to be playing Muradin. And Dunkstink is going to be playing Li Ming.
There you go. And taking a look at these talents, first tier talents, seeing how they're going to roll out. Nothing really sticks out to me at all. Here, lingering chill for Jaina. No surprise there. Colossus Totem to increase the area and range of the Earthbind Totem. But that's about it with Li Ming going power hungry here with that mana talent.
Yeah, and definitely a lot of time spent in lane on this map here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So a very smart pickup there by Li Ming to be able to get the extra ability damage as well as the extra mana regen from those orbs. She's going to be hunting for orbs all game long.
Absolutely. We're going to see both teams try to pull off their four-man rotation between mid and top lane. If you don't know, that since this map is so small, having a four-man rotating between both lanes is advantageous because you get a lot of push down and get a lot of that ammo wasted from the cannons before committing to taking down that wall.
Yeah, and thus far, even though I do think that a little bit of a wave clear advantage is in favor of final boss here, we are seeing FSU Crab Legs with the aggressive rotations. With the CC comp they have, it makes a lot of sense that right now final boss doesn't feel like they can really team fight against them.
No, at this particular point, they're not. The XP as it stands right now is pretty even. Both teams at level 2. XP looks to be going a little bit more towards FSU at this particular point. I think the rotations have been a little bit better. Muradin trying to get in there, go ham just a little bit, getting caught up just a little bit, but able to dwarf toss back.
Yeah, and right now their final boss isn't actually doing a full four-man rotation. They're leaving Sylvanas up in the top lane, but they are going to catch Muradin out a little bit, put a lot of harass out on him. The return harass is going to come out on Rhaegar. Both teams are going to end up walking away here without losing anything.
No, it looks like they're just going to settle back in, try to work this rotation, try to work this poke damage, leaning in the mid lane against 3. Muradin coming down to see what he can do to provide some kind of support. But no real hard engagements here trying to single target somebody down. We're just going to rotate back and just collect those gems.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we are going to see Lunara versus good old Brightwing down here. That global presence, Tall and Nasty can always just phase shift in if he ever feels like that four-man rotation needs him up there. But for now, just picking up the XP, both players being pretty patient. Brightwing has a pretty decent amount of wave clear where Lunara has just the damage output. So ultimately, just can't engage that very hard, can Brightwing. But at the end of the day, once those do come up, able to clear them out pretty quickly with the Q.
Right, they are in here, and both teams are now looking to push a little bit in mid lane here, poking each other. Again, no real hard commitment. Door toss coming out, and Jaina with that nice blizzard, but it looks like, oh, she is going to be saved. Jaina does walk away.
And a great lunar flare there coming out from Tyrande, going ahead and stunning two of those on the back line. One of those being Jaina, getting a lot of harass out on her, almost picking up first blood.
Almost. Again, team is just relaxing back, going to heal up. It looks like FSU does need to get a little bit of healing done on their Li Ming and Muradin. We do see the deep dive on with the Nubarak on Lunara, but no real follow-up.
Yeah, not a whole lot there to dive in from there, but maybe just getting a little bit of practice on the timing there, aiming at Lunara and going ahead and showing that he can get in there and get her harassed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So looking back down at bottom lane, it looks like Lunara is getting a little bit of the push onto Brightwing, and Brightwing just cleaning up and grabbing the gems. Brightwing holding 21 gems as of right now. In fact, 23 of the gems for good lord, for final boss are turned in. They just need about 27 more. No gems turned in on the side of SFU.
Yeah, Lunara is getting some of those free turn-ins on bottom, I think is the result of a lot of those gems. But right now, ultimately, both of these teams, as they rotate up and down, can't really get a whole lot of a turn-in here on top. The smart thing that some of these teams may do, as we see a Nubarak doing, is try to rotate to the bottom to turn in where it's not being monitored quite as heavy. But as these do get snipped out now, we are going to see final boss be able to turn in top. We're going to get Sylve turned in, as well as Jaina is actually going to get taken down here, and Anubarak is in quite a lot of trouble too.
Oh no, nice little stun there coming from Tyrande. Jaina and Anubarak going down. This should help secure a definite turn-in for the side of FSU. Excuse me.
Yep, and we are going to see that turn in. Muradin is going to secure it in the bottom, and the red team here, FSU Crab Legs, is going to end up getting this first Webweaver phase. We'll have to see what exactly they can do with it. I think if there is any phase in the game that they might be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, is that they don't have the siege specialist to really aid the push of these Webweavers.
No, they don't, and that's why it was so important to get a Sylvanas, which was taken by a final boss, or a Zagara to help chunk down those towers and walls, but they elected to go in a different route, going dual support. We'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, we are going to see them gather up here in mid and try and aid the push of this Webweaver. They do have a comp that's pretty good at locking down somebody, so if they are able to push in here and get a little bit of an advantage from everybody that steps out too far, they could end up getting some kills and getting a little bit of XP from that.
Right here, we are going to see them making a commitment to mid lane here, FSU, looking to try to take down this first tower. It looks like if they can keep pushing, they will be able to get it down. Lunara coming up from her bottom lane position. But no, again, not really any big engagement going on here on the side of final boss, and FSU is going to be able to just go back and work another lane.
Yeah, they are going to end up getting that one fort down. They're also going to rotate down here and get a little bit of pressure out on bottom before this is all said and done, but leaving the top turn-in all alone as these will spawn back up. But instead of getting the turn-in, they are going to like to rotate down and try and defend this. They're going to get Muradin very low here. He's actually going to go down,
he's going
overstaying his welcome a little bit too long there, Flip.
Yes, he was. Yeah, going in there a little bit low of health to begin with, and it looks like Brightwing is also going to go down there. Just no way for her to escape, and not enough time for her to phase away onto somebody else ahead of her.
Yeah, great pushback there from Final Boss. And we are also going to see the counter aggression here from Greymane. He's going to jump in and get a kill. And the resets are going to start rolling from Li Ming as well.
Oh my.
She doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but that's going to be enough to take out Lunara and Anubarak. A great Lunar Flare there to finish him off. And now Rhaegar is going to feel it as they get the ults.
My goodness, we're now having FSU Crab Legs hitting their ult talents. We're looking at the ults right now. Blink Heal for Brightwing, Go for the Throat, no surprise for, in fact, I don't think I've ever seen the other ult of Greymane. Starfall for Tyrande, Avatar, and Disintegrate.
Yeah, you're the Greymane expert here, Blake. What is that other ult? I don't even know what it is.
You know, honestly, I do not know what it is. I have never seen it. Thanks for calling me out there and showing my ignorance. I really appreciate that.
I think it's something to do with a bullet. That's all I really remember.
That's what I was going to say. There isn't a whole lot for it except the fact I think you're in human form.
Yeah, and we are going to see a very big advantage taken here. You know, maybe a little bit of a misplay here from Final Boss. They do secure the Webweaver turn-in, but because of that huge team fight in the mid where all those deaths came down, they're not going to be able to capitalize a whole lot on it here, as these Webweavers are going to be cleared out pretty quickly from FSU Crab Legs, and having a little bit of a level advantage, they're not going to be able to engage on this a whole lot going deep. We are going to see Starfall coming out from Tyrande, along with these resets from Greymane and Li Ming rolling here. They are going to pull down Lunara first, and Anubarak getting very low again. He's going to get polymorph and killed with no ability to escape. The CC's coming out. They're going to get Raynor.
Oh my!
And the Go for the Throat is going to take down both Rhaegar and Jaina.
Right, if you don't know, Go for the Throat. If you are able to kill with that particular talent, Go to the Throat, it actually resets and you can dive onto somebody else, and that was exactly what Greymane did there to finish off that Jaina.
That's why I love this combination between Li Ming and Greymane. They have a lot of synergy. If they're able to roll those resets together, they can end up really steamrolling these team fights. And the CC comp really is working out here to go along with this reset comp.
Right, we're seeing this crab legs working their composition very, very well. They know exactly how to play these characters and what the limitations that they do have concerning when to go in and when not to go in, how long to stay in. Doing a really, really nice job of working the map of getting the timely turn-ins where they need it. And now we're going to see them try to scoot themselves up into the top turn-in to see if they can squeeze that turn-in.
Yeah, we're gonna see 47 coins turned in right, or gems turned in right away. That free turn-in bought by that team fight there. We do see Greymane actually go down and pick up those bottom, that bottom siege camp, and then as they clear that out in the bottom, they'll just rotate up top, finish that turn-in, and now as they are about to pick up these level 13 talents, a pretty ideal time for them to be spawning web weavers here, as they have a pretty big team fight advantage in case they want to engage this and push hard somewhere where final boss is.
Right, it looks like the Web Weavers are going to be able to come out at least halfway through the lane, which is exactly where you want it to go. And FSU Crabble is electing to push that bottom lane, seeing how the majority of final bosses in top lane.
Yeah, I would have actually have loved to see them rotate up to final boss. I feel like they could take a pretty decisive team fight here, as they are ranked level 13. They did pick up that talent tier advantage, but they are going to left with the safe choice here quite a long time until final boss gets that level 13. So ultimately, either way they go here, they're going to be able to threaten a keep here. And if there's too much of a counter engage from final boss, they should be able to win the team fight pretty easily.
Yes, that's absolutely. They are going to look like they're going to definitely get these cannons down on walls. They are going to push into the keep. Interestingly, you still see Savage trying to push that top lane to get some sort of value, some sort of XP as their mission. I wonder if that's going to play a part in what's going to happen here.
A pretty decent defense there. They did hit the combo out on Nubarak, but because Nubarak was the only one far out enough to get, they weren't quite able to knock him down before Rhaegar was able to heal him back up. And getting a little bit of value here out of Sylvanas, a very smart rotation for her to go ahead and get out safely. She is going to get stunned, but ultimately that's not going to be enough to be able to keep Sylvanas down. She gets a little bit of advantage there in top, able to take down that fort and get a little bit of XP as they slowly try and catch up here on tier value, inching in towards 13.
Right here, and they, like you said, trying to get that Sylvanas, just not able to get there in time. Both teams now going to try to clear up their lanes and work that turn-in node, up top and bottom node, and see what they can do here.
Yeah, a pretty smart play coming out of Final Boss. They realize here that they can't really commit to a hard team fight until they get to level 13. Now they're able to get level 13. They might be able to push a turn in here, try to force something, especially with Brightwing having back. T can always phase shift back in, of course, though. One of the advantage of this global presence, able to just go mana up and get right back into the fight.
Here we are going to...
Phase shield coming in on Greymane. It looks like they might be ready to try and engage this, despite not having the talent tier advantage anymore. They're going to push in, they're going to throw down Starfall. They're going to get... Anubarak is very, very deep in the middle of this team. One reset is all it's going to take to really turn this team fight. They will take down Tyrande, but the resets are rolling. Li Ming able to push back Rhaegar, get him way down, but actually we are seeing Greymane get very, very low. Muradin might be a little overextended now.
He was a little bit overextended, but he elected to pull back out, and once again, we're going to see a nice little engagement there from FSU going 1-for-1. Not much of a value there, but just providing that pressure onto Final Boss. Now sitting at 15, level 15 for FSU and 13 for Final Boss.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen them just hold off on that just a little bit. They spent a lot of ultimates there engaging that in the mid where they didn't really have the advantage yet. They weren't quite 16, didn't quite have the, they had a couple of levels, but no real talent tier advantage there, where if they had just stalled it to about now, had they had all 5 members together, they really could have engaged this. But now Greymane's in the bottom. They can't really take a huge advantage out of the fact that they have 16.
No, not at all. It looks like Final Boss was trying to think just for a second about Boss, but smartly they elected to push another lane. Looks like they are going to rotate back down to the mid and bottom lane to see what they can see here at the bottom node.
We are going to see Muradin go in here. They're going to get the stun lock in on Anubarak, but Li Ming coming back from replenishing her mana on that back, not quite able to capitalize on that stun lock, but they will push Anubarak and Final Boss off of this turn-in at the very least, and be able to secure a little bit of a free turn-in here for Li Ming and Greymane, who do have enough to spawn the Web Weavers.
And there they are with another Web Weavers going to the side of Crab Legs here. Going to be able to push out definitely that mid lane, to push into that inner wall and push it onto the keep, and possibly even get the bottom keep as well, seeing how that has already been damaged about a fourth of the way down.
And a big stun combo coming up on a Nubarak again. Yet again, they're gonna get in here and they're gonna get these resets rolling yet again with a early kill on a Nubarak as these Web Weavers are spawning, and they're looking at getting this bottom keep.
They are. They've elected to go to the bottom keep, which is definitely a smart play, because the bottom keep has already taken significant damage, and Li Ming with that beautiful, nice orb just of hers, being able to chunk it all the way down to practically half health, and they're definitely at least going to be able to get this bottom keep.
And with a Nubarak not able to really dive in and lock these guys down, none of the members of Final Boss really feel safe to be able to get in on this. Another brilliant move here is, as these lanes weren't pushed out very far in mid or top, that's going to afford them opportunity to still be able to rotate up here and aid the push of the other Web Weavers that are slowly coming in towards the other structures that are still up.
Right here, it looks like we're going to have some sort of an engagement or some sort of poke battle here between these two teams in mid lane. We are going to see Blizzard coming out, hitting 4 of the players there. And
Wailing Arrow there is able to silence a bunch of the members and is putting FSU Crab Legs on the back foot here, and Greymane is going to end up falling. Muradin is separated away from his team. The Squishies are being knocked down by Sylvanas and Lunara, but Sylvanas is going to end up overextending with that Haunting Wave, and the members of FSU Crab Legs will turn and eliminate her. Muradin is in abject horror here as the rest of the team turns around, and Final Boss is able to take him down, ultimately getting a 2-for-1 exchange here.
Right, a little bit of a misplay there, trying to, on Muradin, trying to stay in there, thinking that he was going to have his team to back him up, but they went out and retreated far back enough away, able to get Sylvanas, which was great. However, leaving Muradin all by himself, and it looks like we are going to see a boss attempt here by Final Boss.
It is going to be sniffed out by Tyrande, however. Li Ming is going to be able to get in and poke on this, putting a lot of harass out on Lunara, but ultimately, I'm not sure they're going to be able to really defend against this. Final Boss is going to go ahead and disengage from the boss, but ultimately they are going to get Lunara down, but Li Ming might pay for it with her life. She doesn't really have a whole lot of mana here to try to escape, but Greymane is going to come back in from coming back in from the penalty box here, and is going to be able to push him off of the team.
Right here, nice little sniff out there by FSU, able to get go after Rhaegar, who was the most important person to go after first before really trying to turn on somebody else, making sure that healer was taken down, forcing Final Boss to disengage from the boss and trying to deal with them, and ultimately they had to walk away from it.
Yeah, a huge shout out there to Deathclaw on Tyrande, able to sniff that out with that owl, giving them enough time to get up there and interrupt that. And now they're going to end up securing the boss for themselves. Nubarak isn't going to be able to sniff this out early enough, and even if he was, not really enough players left on Final Boss to be able to even come contest that, even if they wanted to.
No, and we are going to see this boss and FSU push top lane here. Arguably, they could be able to get this keep. They are still, again, sitting at 2 levels, having a 2-level advantage over Final Boss, and they are going to start working on these towers.
And a very pro play there, as we are going to see FSU Crab Legs go ahead and take out that inner wall just in case they wanted to go ahead and engage with this high CC, high reset comp. They are going to catch Rhaegar out a little bit with that stun combination, but a Wailing Arrow is going to come in, and a great reaction from Final Boss to be able to silence them so they didn't feel comfortable jumping in on that. They're going to take down the boss here. They're going to save their keep, and it looks like they're going to actually push FSU Crab Legs back, and they are thinking about re-engaging here.
Oh my.
But Nubarak able to burrow out just in time as that Lunar Flare was about to come down.
Oh man, I thought Nubarak was gone with that Lunar Flare coming down. He was able, like you said, to dig out of that just at the right possible moment there. He is going to get polymorphed by Bright Wind, but no real hard engagement here on the side of FSU. They're just trying to clean up and see if they can get somebody.
Yeah, they're trying to push him away here, but the 20 talents and these Hero Storm talents are going to be picked up by FSU Crab Legs. That's going to give them enough confidence to feel like they can go back in and re-engage here. They are actually going to get Jaina down. The resets are going to start rolling. We are going to see Storm Shield come out, and that's going to give them enough confidence to stay grouped up here and maybe try and pick up a couple other kills. Puzzle being very, very patient as Lunara here, just slowly poking down the team of FSU Crab Legs, is going to end up pushing them out of here.
But they are, and FSU are smartly going to retreat from this engagement, go back, look the runes just a little bit, heal up, grab a couple more coins, and try to get another turn in here. And if they're able to get this turn in, that potentially could be. I'm not going to say fully called, but that could be very devastating for the side of final boss.
Yeah, a lot of these lanes are pushed in really far, so they're going to have to make a decision here. They actually don't have enough coins to turn in at this point. However, Final Boss does if they can secure a turn in here, but all these lanes are pushed out really far. It's going to be hard for them to actually get in far enough to be able to get a turn in without FSU Crab Legs sniffing it out. So really what they need to do is they just need to be careful to not over-engage here, see if they can maybe get a pick on somebody, but otherwise they just need to try to avoid team fighting until they get 20. It's really rough to play the game that patiently, but ultimately it's going to be rough for them to take a fight without those 20 talents.
Right, and it is very difficult for teams that are down to another team who already has 20 and trying to, like you said, be patient enough to get that 20, but still being able to clear lanes and take care of relieving pressure off their base there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play this. They have a long way to go, a level and a half, before they're even able to sniff level 20.
Yeah, they are going to go ahead and try and poke FSU Crab Legs off of this mid keep, though, trying to defend their last keep. They do have the other lanes pushing in quite far, so FSU Crab Legs doesn't really have a whole lot other to do than to just dance around this keep, keeping Final Boss here, keeping them not being able to soak other lanes. They are going to send Jaina in the top and a Nubarak in the bottom to try and soak a little bit of those, but ultimately we are going to see them push in a little farther here. We might see the collapse come down from Final Boss.
They're right. This keep might be coming down there, but it looks like they are going to be able to just get away. However, we do see a cocoon and plus a blizzard. Oh my goodness!
The Wailing Arrow coming out, silencing all 5 members of FSU Crab Legs. And not a whole lot of follow-up there. They do end up getting in enough to get Greymane, but I feel like they could have gotten a lot more out of that. Oh, and the double kill from the Orb is going to take down Jaina and Rhaegar, and this might be it, Play.
That could be it. I thought for sure they were able to jostle for position there and then work themselves out of that. But that orb coming in and just absolutely devastating Jaina and Rhaegar all the way down. You're right. This could have been a big push, but they are electing to go back and regroup and lick their runes.
Yeah, and Dunk Stink on Li Ming with an Asmo Dunk-like orb there to take
Nicely
out
done.
2 members. What a skill shot that was.
We're looking at it right now, the scoreboard right now with Li Ming with 10 kills and no deaths. So he's actually playing out of his mind, in my opinion. Dunkstink doing a tremendous job of playing to Li Ming's strength, staying out of heavy engagements, able to retreat when need to, sitting at 93,000 hero damage.
Yeah, absolutely incredible play coming out. Yet another classic Crowan build coming out here. A little bit different, but mainly going off of those missile build talents that we see Crowan doing right now for Gale Force Esports, being repeated quite a lot this week from what I've seen after that big win in the North American Regionals this last weekend.
Right, and it'll be interesting to see how long some of these builds will last. And we are going to see a bit of a rotation there from both teams trying to sneak at the final boss, trying to sneak them out. And we are going to see a couple going down. Good Lord.
Yeah, the turn from FSU Crab Legs, we did see Final Boss finally get 20, get those Storm Talents, but they're going to go in. They get a little bit separated there, and the smart turn there from FSU Crab Legs is going to get in, stun out a couple members. They're going to get a Nubarak and Jaina down, and that is going to be enough for them to be able to secure this win.
Yes, it is. Great rotation by the side of SFU, just like Jaina just said, and congratulating FSU on such a good rotation and the win. And a Nubarak, a little cheese going on there. And we are going to see it. I'm going to call it.
Yeah, just a little bit too much pressure coming in here, and ultimately we will see a final end to this match. As we saw FSU Crab Legs really dominate a lot of that game, I felt like. They played what they wanted. They knew what they wanted to do with this draft from the get-go, picking up Greymane and Li Ming. They knew they were going to just build CC talented heroes from there and just go for those resets. And every time they had an opportunity, they just pounced on it without any kind of stalling or any kind of just hesitation at all.
Right, and the kill board definitely tells the tale right there. 20 kills going to the side of the Crab Legs, and only 6 kills going to the side of Final Boss. I thought Final Boss going into this match had a little bit of a more well-rounded, safer composition, but FSU proving that they know who their characters are, and they knew how to play it together. And excuse me, how to play to their heroes' strengths. So congratulations to them on getting a pretty decisive victory here.
Yeah, and I have to give the MVP award to Li Ming. Looking at
Oh,
all the siege
yes.
damage, all the hero damage, 10 and 0, no assists. So not exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. 10 assists. Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at there. I was looking at the death count. That's my bad.
I think
But
you were right.
10, 100% kill involvement there from Li Ming, and just absolutely wrecking some of the members of Final Boss. I respect what Final Boss was going for there. They were trying to get heroes that had high wave clear, trying to get decent dive potential, and just in general building for the map, which I really, really respect in a draft. But ultimately, maybe not accounting for a little bit of what FSU Crab Legs was going for there, giving a little bit too squishy targets over to that reset comp, to that CC comp, not having enough of a counter CC comp, and also seeing Rhaegar did go with cleanse. We saw that come out a couple times during the match, but ultimately getting a few of those heroes locked out and killed that just spawned those resets, and it was just a little bit too much. Maybe a dual support comp, something like that, to maybe try and counter it. Might have helped them a little bit in this matchup.
Yeah, that's right. So, and like you said, definitely for Li Ming with a trifecta there with the Siege Hero and XP damage, XP contribution. Congratulations to them. And Jay, I think we're done for the week, aren't we?
Well, that is it. Definitely it for tonight. You know, as much as I would love to join you guys for more Chair League tomorrow night, I have tickets for Warcraft. I hope everybody goes out and sees the premiere for that movie here in the North America. I think it's going to be a really cool movie. I don't care what the critics are saying. I don't listen to online critics that just make compilation reviews off of 3 other publications that barely even watched the movie. So
Right, right, right.
I'm really looking forward to Warcraft. But anyway, a little bit of the self promotion going on here. As always, I am Jason. Thank you very much for joining us for this Chair League match, guys. We Plague. I can speak for. I believe I can speak for Plague in saying that we've been enjoying bringing these matches to you for the last couple weeks, and we're going to continue to enjoy bringing them at least 2 or 3 days a week. And we're going to do this as often as we can. And if anybody out there needs any tournaments that needs casters, feel free to contact us. We would love to do some of the amateur tournaments. We're going to be looking into that soon. And of course, you know, I'm going to continue to repeat it. If the ESL or DreamHack gods out there are listening, we would love to be able to come do those things someday for you guys as well. We're going to be working on our micro and macro. Plague, thank you always for joining me. And yeah, do you have anything you want to say before we go ahead and sign off?
No, I think that's it. Like I said, you said it. Been having a lot of fun doing these casting matches on the Chair League for the last couple of weeks here, and absolutely having a blast. And in my opinion, I've been having more fun lately doing this than actually playing Heroes of the Storm. So I don't know if that means anything, but yes. So thank you guys for sticking with us and watching the stream.
Shh, don't say that too loud. The rest of the team might be listening. Shh.
That's true. Shh.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a great night, guys.
See you guys.